if I feel prepared. This is great. I've got like 7 different views for my slides, so hopefully I'll do this. We're live. Cool. About 7 seconds until the talk time comes, so that's handy. Well, my clock says it's time, so I'm going to consider it time. Hi, people. Online, I'm commonly called Chris, and I've just decided that's how I'm going to be called for now and forever. It's great. This is not a talk about a Minecraft. If you may have figured from the name and potentially the fact that this says it's fabric to a game that and doesn't specify Minecraft. So, if you haven't yet figured it out, this is about the game Slay the Spire. Someone previously didn't realize, yes, the Slay the Spire is a Java game. Most mods that are made for, I think all mods that are made for it, are written in Java directly, and it's another one of the very impressive Java games that exist. It is fantastic. So, before we get into this talk, a quick warning that this is a very technical talk. I will be talking a lot about the internals of how I did this and not so much the end result, as my goal is not yet through to completion, which is allowing you to play with Fabric but also existing Slay the Spire mods, which are an entirely different system, based loosely on, or at least the patches based loosely on Harmony for C#. So it's a fun little challenge that I'll be working on there in the coming who knows how long. That's I can't really ever think of things. So yeah, let's look at a quick overview of the things. We have Fabric Loader, of course. That's how we're able to play with all the mods today. Fantastic people behind that. We also have Slay the Spire, who have more fantastic people. They made the game Slay the Spire that I have modded here. It's a fun roguelike. If you haven't tried it yet, I'd suggest you do, because it yeah. Or at least if you're into the things. I don't know who or what things people like. So if you remember from, I think it was yesterday now, or maybe the day before, depending on time zones, uh, we had a fun little graphic of a whole lot of mod loaders and forks for Minecraft. And that is kind of what I've done in a bad way, in that I've added fabric support to Slay the Spire, which already has Mod the Spire, a much more popular loader for the thing, given it's the only one that's really existed a long time. But anyway, so Fabric Loader. What is it? Hopefully people know it. It's a mod loader for Minecraft. It's relatively lightweight. It is open source. It has a lot of things you can do with it, and you can change some of its workings. Language adapters are the easiest way to interact with the loader itself, which is neat. It supports almost all versions of Minecraft. I say almost because snapshots that are under, or that have strange version formatting sometimes take a little bit to get a standardized version, and I'm not sure quite on Fabric's capability on the very early versions, like the ones labeled RubyDung in the version numbers and such. It does also support non-Minecraft Java applications. I don't recall who, and I keep forgetting, but I always want to shout them out when I'm thinking of this. You can run, I think it's Quilt actually, but nonetheless, as a loader for IntelliJ IDEs, which is insanely impressive that it can even function. But so that's a thing that you can do. You can mod your IDE if you really want. Now, of course, I did specify that Fabric is modular. You can do things with it. You can put it in situations that it normally wouldn't be. And I did also say you can use non-Java applications such as IDEs, or in fact other games written in Java, such as Slay the Spire. Uh, on the note of Slay the Spire, Fabric had an April Fool's joke really early on, which is basically what I've done, and I am going to try to improve on it. It is fantastic. So, how exactly do you get support for another game with Fabric? You can, or the first thing is you have to load the Fabric loader somehow. Most of the time, you can just, or like if you're playing Minecraft, your launcher does that for you. But if you're playing some other game or some other application, you'll have to do it yourself. And so you, at least for Slay the Spire, there's this really handy thing where if you have the Steam version, there are two different options for launching. There's the vanilla game, and there's also play with mods, which actually just launches a small wrapper around Mod the Spire, but you can overwrite that file. So that is another way in which you can achieve an entry point with Fabric. Now, however, you do have to be aware that that just launches the jar file, and so a little side tangent thing. The way that I actually got this part to do it is all that launches when you were to request Fabric through my system, through Soul the Spire, is it will launch itself as just the standalone jar, and then it will download Fabric and then essentially do some class loader shenanigans similar to what Fabric does in order to launch Fabric itself. It's always fun. The next biggest thing for supporting another thing is the game provider interface itself. This is one specific interface in Fabric. It essentially describes everything about a game that you want to launch. Fabric comes with a Minecraft game provider, which does all of the things for finding where's your main class, what are the launch arguments, how do you interface with it, what is the version that's running, all of those kinds of fun things in order for other mods to be able to use that, and for Fabric to know how to launch the actual game that it is trying to launch. And of course, there's not client.main. Usually, this specific class only gets run from the launcher that you're using or from your IDE through dev launch injector usually. And so this is what actually does the loading of Fabric and all of its initialization things. Now it's time to get ready for game provider, because this is like most of what's this is most of the slides, I'll say. It is a whole lot of things that I don't know why I wrote fields. I should have corrected that. It's a whole lot of things that you have to set all of these because this is an interface in Java, so it is none of this is explicitly, actually I think one thing is, but yeah, it's not explicitly defined. You have to write the code for this, and so we will be I have this set up in batches approximately by like ease of understanding. First, we have the basic ones. The game ID is just some unique identifier that oftentimes, or that I believe Fabric does use internally as like the internal name for the mod kind of thing. Game name is self-explanatory. Hopefully, it is just what game it is. It for Minecraft, it's Minecraft. It's great. Is obfuscated. In Minecraft, this is usually true. If you are playing as just an end user, and in fact, for all of us right now at BlanketCon, that field is true. Yes, Minecraft is obfuscated. The next one is enabled. is a way to specify, do we want this specific game provider to actually run? So in Fabric's Minecraft case, it essentially just checks, does Minecraft exist? And if so, or like, can it access it? Then yes, the Minecraft game provider is enabled as an option. Our next two are requires URL class loader. That is a very technical thing that, for all intents and purposes, usually can just be false. You don't require it. And the launch directory, where are we actually launching the game from? In our case, we are launching from the root of the game. For Minecraft, you're launching from whatever the .minecraft directory is, or your instance directory. We have get raw game version and normalized game version. The raw game version is exactly as the game spits out. For like in Minecraft, this would be like 23W14A or something. That might not be a snapshot. I'll pretend it is if it isn't. But normalized game version is a modified version that specifically fits into semantic versioning, because Fabric still uses Semver and is strict about it when it comes to some specific versioning. So that has to be specified in order to get things to work nicely. And so this, for Minecraft, it's often listed as the next major version dash alpha dot whatever, as as for your individual version. That's usually how Minecraft works. For Slay the Spire, it already uses semantic versioning in its releases. So for a raw game version, I just spit exactly what the version field is. But for normalized game version, I extract specifically the semantic version from the version string that Slay the Spire has. We have two more here in this first section. Get entry point, which is where does Slay the Spire itself actually launch from? When Fabric Loader is doing the loading process, that is where it actually manages the launching of the underlying game. It's not delegated to, well, it's kind of, but mostly not delegated to the game provider. Game provider mostly gets the setup stuff and not so much the launching stage. We have locate game, which is when the game provider actually does the check for, is this the game that we can launch, and do we have the capabilities and the necessary setup in order to launch the game. And so that boolean, that return result, is just yes or no, can this game provider be the one that launches the game? And then those arguments are the arguments passed in from the command line, as well as Fabric's underlying instance, so you can access the current state of Fabric. That's about half of them. We get more, and these are more on after we've already done all of our pre-initialization. We're actually getting into the part where we're trying to launch the game now. So we have our two for top two one here are just arguments, the things passed to the game. They're in string form and a custom class. I do not know why they are both, but I do specify both, and so does the Minecraft one. I honestly have no clue the logic behind that. We have get built-in mods. So these are the things like in this scenario, this is So the Spire, the thing that is launching the game, and in the future, I'd also specify Mod the Spire as being one of these, as a small wrapper around the actual Mod the Spire to do all those patches and such. So that way, other mods can depend on these things, and they will be considered existing, even if there isn't a jar file listed in the mods folder. And there's get entry point transformer. This is a fun one. This is where you have to do all of your all of your bytecode changes and such in order to modify the game at runtime in order to get Fabric to be intercepting at the right times. So Game Transformer is essentially one class that contains a list of patches, and there are a few patches that I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they're the ones that do things like getting the versioning information, modifying the game so that it knows that it's modded, or like setting the modded flag in the things, and like creating the fabric entry point, because fabric still has its main entry points. It needs to be called at some point, and so this is what's responsible for handling when does the mod initializer when do mod initializers get run. We have to create a direct patch with this to inject that in the right spot. We've got three final methods, and then we're done with this. We have initialize, which does any extra initialization steps. I believe for Minecraft, this would be setting up some of the bootstrap stuff, getting things ready for the actual mods themselves that would need to be loaded. Unlock class path is an important one because that is actually when mods start being able to access other things. But prior to this point, everything's been kind of behind a walled garden. You had to be a specific kind of class, or you needed to have certain capabilities prior to doing things. You couldn't just do everything willy-nilly. But then once unlocked class path happens, then that starts allowing everything else. That allows libraries to be loaded and other things like that more easily. And then finally launch, the big one, which does the actual class loader initialization. If you notice, I haven't been specifying like parameter names, but I have been specifying parameters for these methods. This one has a class loader, and so you're essentially given. God darn it! Hold on a minute. Okay, I think we may be good now. Hopefully things are good. So the class loader. This is the not class loader. If you know anything about the Fabric internals, this is what actually runs everything to, or this launches the game. It loads all the mods. It loads mixin. It does mixin transformations. It does everything essentially at this launch phase. And so we need to make sure that we are launching the right thing at this time, and that is when things can go. Now that we've talked a whole lot about the actual underlying code, let's look at an example. Here is a mixin, a quick little mixin I wrote. This one, in fact, just modifies the text on the main menu. It's relatively technical. It modifies text. I don't actually know if there's localization for this. God darn it, it might. Hard. I was banished. Am I back? Do I exist?
Yeah.
I'm alive. Fantastic. All right. So, relatively simple mixin that we have here. It changes text. Do I have to click buttons again? What? Oh man. All right. Am I existing now?
All clear.
Cool. Fantastic. Wonderful. Uh, basic general mod doesn't do or a mix-in. It doesn't do too much. It changes text, but it is something. It is an example thing. Disregard the fact that I'm overwriting because I decided to do this the fast way and not the correct way. But we have logs. We in fact can just launch the game at this point. And Fabric is fantastic for still supporting Java 8, even as the most modern loader versions. And so we can just Fabric is not running whatever. We can just immediately load Fabric with Java 8 here. And I do realize it says version. It's because I'm launching with the IDE and not in fact Gradle. Gradle was not involved in the compilation process, so that's that part. Did my mic lower? Nothing ever
No.
works for me. Okay. Everything is always broken, but yeah. So because I was compiling with IDE, it didn't fill in the version, but usually it would fill in the version. That's fine. But yeah, Slay the Spire does officially say it's 2.3.4 on the thing, even though the actual version text, the thing that it would tell you in the game, is more complicated, and so that's always fun. But it does launch. It works fine. We got the mod loaded. We have Java loaded. We have Fabric, the most modern version. It is fantastic. And the game launches just fine. And of course, here's the picture of the. God darn it! Nothing ever works. All right. Am I alive now? Do I exist? I'm always struggling. All right. Fantastic. So yeah, once we have gone through all of those steps of making the thing to make it just work, we now get. I'm getting tomatoes. We get the actual game. It launches, and in fact, if you look very, I have no clue how. Okay, does show up pretty big. It does say in the bottom corner that Fabric is there. Because there's one other mixin that I didn't show that just adds Fabric uh, on the version text, so you know that you're running Fabric. It is fantastic. But yeah, those are my fantastic texts that I added to the game. It is fantastic. You can do this. This is a very basic thing. You could do anything that Fabric can do on here. If someone managed to somehow figure out how to create some kind of equivalent to a tech mod in Slay the Spire, I'd be more than impressed, but whatever works, works. So with that, do people have questions?
Does the game itself need to be in Java itself as well, or can it be in anything else, such as Ruby?
The game would have to be compiled to the JVM, but Fabric mostly does not care beyond that.
It's a bit irrelevant to the specific presentation, but what's your favorite card and why is it Black Claw?
Repeat that?
What's your favorite card from the Slay the Spire, since we were talking about modding the game? I know, technically stuff, but I know it's a bit irrelevant to the whole topic, but I thought I would ask because I was curious.
I do not know. I'm rarely a man of favorites.
Fair enough. All right.
I do see people are filling in paper questions as well. The wiki says get entry point. Is this is only used in Minecraft? Is this a lie? I believe I do believe that is a lie. I'm pretty sure I in fact do use it in my code. I can pull it up real quick in order to double check myself. But it might be a situation where it's required for Minecraft and other stuff would require it, but I opened the wrong thing. But am I? Oh, okay. I was trying to read chat while also doing things. This is great. I need to pull these things. Why Fabric Loader? What could the Fabric Loader offer Slay the Spire modders that the established mod loader cannot? Not much, but it can offer Fabric to people familiar with the Fabric environment the ability to mod Slay the Spire in a familiar way. I would argue in a roundabout way that Vineflower is in fact an advantage, and I mean, props to Jasmine for being there and doing so much with it. And Crop is also fantastic in the area. All I do is Kotlin, so good on you guys for like building the thing. It is very handy indeed. Source code. Where can we find source? This is very words. Eventually is about all I can answer for it now. I do plan on publishing these sources, and hopefully I will have Mod the Spire working relatively soon. But once I get the Mod the Spire support, I plan to publish it pretty much immediately to my GitHub. You can find my GitHub connected to my Modrinth page, to my Discord, lots of places. Right, I was going to look at a thing. What was I looking at? Right, get entry point. The get entry point. I am blind. I do in fact return the location for I'm trying to figure out why would it be used in places. I see. So Minecraft is the thing that actually takes advantage. Where in the heck did the I've lost a note. Whatever. Fabric is or the Fabric uses the get entry point method within its patch, and that, as far as I can tell, is the only place where it actually is used. But it doesn't hurt to set it in other places, because who knows what Fabric might do in the future. I'd rather just have it set so it's available. Your name is Chris, and what am I supposed to call you? You can call me Chris. I basically adopted the name for Online Spaces, and it's because of one person. If you know who the person is, you're cool, and I do not know if you would like me to specify that who it was that did it. But yeah, that's the thing. I've run out of text questions.
Is the mic picking up? I can't pick it up.
I believe
I'll
you have to
assume
click the base.
Crouch right click
crouch right click.
with an empty hand, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I had an inventory desync. That was it. Do you plan to like mess around with Fabric loader on other other Java-based games, or are you just sticking with Slay the Spire to experiment?
I would love to put Fabric in other places. I have yet to get into other Java games. I'm not too much of a gamer, I tell myself. So I don't know about too many of the games outside of these two, that being Java and also being ones that I am particularly interested in. but I if I get my hands on a Java game, I would not be opposed to adding an entry point setup for the game in order to use Fabric on it. FIFA 11, if that's actually a game, then oh goodness.
Are other language adapters supported for the Fabric loader?
Language adapters should work in place, assuming they do not touch Minecraft itself. For example, Fabric language Kotlin should just work. However, of note is that Mod the Spire does come with a version of Kotlin already. It does include Kotlin 1.4.10, if I recall correctly. Yeah, 1.4.10 in its release. So Mod the Spire versions may be expecting specifically that. Do we have bonus questions? People are out of questions. Cool. If you have more questions, like ever, I have my DMs opened in general for some Discords. You can ping me in many online spaces or many online Discord servers, and I'll probably see it eventually. I mean, I'm down for some silly questions. I've done a number of ridiculous things in my past.
Hey, oh my god, I'm sharing my phone. Could you imagine? Probably it's been done before, but like, generally like integration between multiple Java games. Like, could you imagine a mod that works both in Minecraft and say in Spire or another Java game? And depending where you put the mod, it would function a bit differently. Idea would be, I don't know, maybe some kind of communication between the games. So you do something in Minecraft, something happens in the Spire, and vice versa. Probably it's been done before, but could we use that new tech for stuff like this using Fabric?
So there is a I guess like a combination game. There's a randomizer thing. I forget what it's called. Where it's kind of that, or it's communication between different games. And it's like individual people play different games, and as you're unlocking things through this randomizer, you're allowing the other people that you're playing with to be able to access more in their games. And you could, in theory, write one single Fabric mod, which uses either like a single entry point or a set of entry points that, depending on if classes are loaded, would run on Slay the Spire certain things, on Minecraft different things, and whatever else on whatever other platforms. But you could in fact write one single mod to do that, yes.
All right, thanks for answering the question.
And now I'm stuck on trying to figure out what that randomizer thing was. Oh, Archipelago. Quad already said it. Quad like knows everything that I try to remember at any given moment. It's great. And I'm still very curious on where one of the notes that I had went. Any final question? I don't know how final it would be, but final questions before we have just the final closing after this, and we all be excited that BlanketCon happened and worked with only a few crashes.
Notes should come through.
Ooh, notes. There's a note. Are you going to mod the Spire to Fabric, or is it just going to be installed as a mod for Fabric? So my general goal is that I will have the patching side of things be re-implemented on top of Fabric. That is quite the feat because of the annotation-based system. But then I would have mod the Spire itself loaded as its own separate mod for all of its APIs and things for the other mods to be able to use. I do see things being written, perhaps, possibly, I think. Okay, I did say a game that already has a mod loader. The thing is, I wouldn't be porting Fabric to Minecraft. I definitely would not be porting Fabric to Minecraft, given it's already for Minecraft. So that just would not work, but okay. I can't say I haven't done something similar. Given in the past, I have in fact gotten Quilt running on InfDev, or maybe it's Fabric, or both. So that's been a fun situation in the past. Also, if I still think it'd be really funny if like Patchwork had gotten to a workable state and we could run like Sinitra through Patchwork and get Fabric for Fabric. There's Kilt. I forget about the inverse existing. So the thing, Luna, making an empty JVM, load everything as mod, that's kind of what I do with Slay the Spire. The only thing that loads initially is Sow the Spire, which downloads Fabric if needed, updates it if needed, and then runs Fabric alongside itself in a separate class loader to then later load the game in yet another class loader. There's like 7 different layers of class loader. I'm just loving the things in here. Porting Fabric to Nintendo 64. If someone wants to port Fabric to any native platform, go right ahead. I'm not. I would much rather stick with the JVM, which I've looked at way too much bytecode for. There's another note card. Is it possible to mod the Fabric loader with Fabric? Technically. I do not know how much to elaborate on that, but yes, it is possible to mod Fabric Loader. There are some methods by which you can retransform classes. And like if you've heard of gross fabric hacks, that you can do exactly that. In fact, in the past, I have made, I have done modifications to fabric. In a couple of things I've made specifically to be capable of some more things. I'm trying to remember things, but I'm bad at that. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere I did modify fabric myself in Mod the Spire, or in Slay the Spire, Sow the Spire. That's what it's called, Sow the Spire. Simply because some things are hard to work. I don't think I did this time. But some things just are hard to work with. And so sometimes it's necessary to do things. I need to clear some of my inventory for more of these questions. Let's just do this. Cool, it's more questions time. I threw some of these in our spot. Are there any current plans to port Fabric to Doom? No. Someone else can. I'm not. That would probably require porting the entire JVM, and I don't think that's quite how that would work. But you could do that, which would be very concerning. SIM cards, Java is in the weirdest places. If you can manage to get Fabric loading on a SIM card, go right ahead. I doubt you'd be able to do that with enough space to actually perform things with it, but you can try all you wish with that. Run Fabric on Android? That's been done. People have in fact run Java Edition on Android devices. In fact, if you have an Oculus Quest, that is the most convenient way to run Minecraft Java Edition. Actually, I don't know if it's other things, but yeah. Oh, Fabric for Android. No, it's sandboxed. Also that uses Delvic in older versions, and I forget what it's called, the Android Virtual Machine, I think, for later versions, and that is technically not the JVM, and so it does not work quite like that, and so it's really weird. Not really possible to do like that. Can you get Fabric on the Nintendo 3DS? Maybe. If you want a modded game with Fabric, again, get Java on there and you'll be well on your way. Good luck with that kind of thing. Minecraft did have a 3DS release, but I do believe that was native and not Java. So Fabric on Minetest. I don't think Minetest is Java. If it is JVM, I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Yeah, Lua. So that's not Java. Can I port the Slay the Spire mod loader to work on Minecraft? Potentially. I'm not going to add yet another mod loader to Minecraft. Mod the Spire is just fine being not on Minecraft. Someone else can do that instead. There are too many standards, yes. WinForge for Slay the Spire? Never. I am not going to decompile, patch, and recompile the game. I refuse. It's already enough to decompile it. Vineflower makes my life so nice with that. I will keep promoting Vine Flower, not because I work on it, but because Jazz works on it, and she's great. Using Fabric to patch Forge, you can already do that. In fact, if you were to go back to that April Fool's thing that was a long while ago, Fabric did in fact run with Forge 1.2.5, which is old, but a proof of concept is more than nothing. And so you could in fact run Fabric underneath Forge, essentially prior to the game loading. Yeah, thanks Quad for reposting the link. You're great for like all the things. If I cannot answer some of these questions. They are too rhetorical even for me. But yeah, you'd be it's a whole lot easier to load Fabric and then use Fabric to load Forge than it is the inverse, though it probably is possible. My dog, she's named Bonnie. She's very loud at very specific times, and currently I believe she's outside. Do I like cats? Yes, we have 3 of them in the house. One of them likes sleeping with me. The other ones like roaming around everywhere and causing us trouble to for sleep. Words are hard. The 3 cats, I rarely actually call things. Words are hard. I rarely call them by names, but they are Junior, as in the son of a previous cat we had, Dak or Daiquiri, and Rita or Margarita. Those 2 are brother and sister and relatively young. How old is Bonnie? Less than a year. Whether or not she's a good dog is not for me to answer. I have questions on her, but you know. Fabric on the Mars rover. If it runs Java, why not? Good luck with that. Talk with NASA if you want to try that. That's I have no influence on it. Fabric on a flip phone with Java. If it's running the JVM, go right ahead. Good luck with that though. Could you run Java? Maybe. If you really want to put in all of the effort of parsing bytecode and loading classes, perhaps. Can you outrun Java? Probably. I mean, currently, what are we sitting at? Like 12, 14 TPS. That's decent. We have dropped down to like 8 TPS. I don't think that'd be too hard to outrun. I've just noticed in the tab menu, crops head emojis are massive. I did not notice that before. So yeah, there are a bunch of things you can do with Fabric. If it runs on the JVM, you can probably mod it with Fabric. And people have done similar things. I'm sometimes very concerned at the things people are doing. How much time am I willing to spend answering the questions until half past? You got about 21 minutes left for questions, and then I will be gone. Running Java in Hex, no clue. I do not have any context on the Hex side of that, but go ahead with that. Mod Commodore 64 games with Fabric. No, I don't think the Commodore 64 is powerful enough to run the JVM, much less Fabric. If you can get that to work, good on you. But that would be a bit of a challenge. Can I give a tour of the server? I cannot. I barely know anything about about most of the server anyway. I still have been exploring it as the con has gone on, and I will need to continue exploring it after after we at whatever it's called, the closing ceremonies later tonight. JVM on C#. That's, I mean, if you want Fabric on C#, Harmony gets you a lot of the way there, or at least the equivalent of Mixin. But that brings you most of the way. Harmony is pretty neat for C#, so that's at least a thing. We have an actual physical node again. It says Fabric on Forge. Cool. Would running Fabric under Forge allow you to use Fabric mods and Forge mods fully together fully? It depends on how it's set up. My answer is probably. And in fact, the way I had described earlier, launching Fabric and then telling Fabric to launch Forge would allow you to modify Forge yourself or itself if you really wanted. But Fabric mods might need to do special things in order to actually read or interact with the game. Not a question, it says. So can I get so I can get Fabric running on an in-game PC running Java in Minecraft running Fabric? That is a mouthful. Yes. You can in fact have a virtual machine through Minecraft which runs Java, which runs Minecraft. That is entirely possible. This note is just titled FD. Oh, Farmer's Delight. I see. Which Farmer's Delight food do you think would be the tastiest in real life? Again, don't know. I've spent very little time exploring the server. Honestly, I do not know all of the Farmer's Delight stuff. That was like the one area I got to explore prior to the con opening for like playtesting and things, but I have not looked into too many things. I need to read here. Would I consider porting Fabric on Slay the Spire 2? No. Slay the Spire 2 will not be in Java, according to the reports that we have been given. I think they're using Godot for that, and that is C# and Godot script instead. So that, very sad, but I would have loved to were it on Java. Would I port Slay the Spire 2 to Java? No, that'd be way too much time. I would not put that much effort into it. I would practically die before I'd be able to finish. So someone else can do that instead, but not me. Port C# to Java? No. I don't. I believe. I don't know how it's pronounced. Coley, the person behind Recaf, has some form of the JVM written in Java, and I've already heard that does not run well. I would not like to see C# in Java, especially when it can interface with native code, and that would be no fun whatsoever. If someone else ports Slay the Spire 2 to Java, will I port Fabric on it then? Maybe. Perhaps. I'd be very concerned if someone were to spend or take all the effort to port the game to Java, but whatever. Whatever people think. Port FFmpeg to Java? No. That's a terrible idea. That FFmpeg is really cool, but almost certainly would be incredible pain. So If someone gets FFmpeg in Java, you do you. I'm not touching it. Also, just in general, porting languages to Java, not fun. Unless there is a specific compiler to it, it is not particularly great. Port Slay the Spire 2 to 2025. No. I am not making an entire Slay the Spire game just so I can port things to it. That would hurt me to no extent. Port the universe to Java. I did see briefly a while back that someone else had said that if the universe runs Java, can I run Fabric on it? In theory, yes, but good luck with that. That would be many challenging. Do I have any mods I want to make? No, I am devoid of ideas at all times. If you have not looked at my Modmonth page, the most popular things I've done have been libraries and utilities. There have been not much that I personally would come up with. So someone else can make a mod with that. I cannot. Can I code ideas? Maybe. I'd have to know what the ideas are and a whole lot of understanding to it. This did become a very chaotic presentation, but hey, there's 4 minutes left. Have fun. Get your final questions in the last 4 minutes. It is contrary to tab display belief. My talk is not forever. It very much is not going to go on forever, despite what the tab list would suggest. I do need to get sleep eventually, so that's part of it. How can you not make use of the Spire? Don't do that. That's the simple answer. You can't even make use of it yet unless you are me or you hack me, because it is on my computer alone and there is nothing there yet. I am now being caged up. This is fun. But also, until Hama decides to take it away from me, I can just move, and I've been krilled. But I can just go ahead and do this and no longer be in the cage, so that's a thing.